I have to admit something. I almost completely quit Wuthering Waves. After 1.1, my attention span and enjoyment of the game has just been on a slow and steady decline where I've been kind of keeping up with the events. I've been doing dailies, sometimes weeklies, but honestly, my point of engaging with the game had gotten incredibly low that I was not excited about the game anymore. And when the announcement for 2.0 came out, I'll be honest, I was still kind of mixed. I was feeling really burned out on open world exploration. I didn't know if maybe Wuthering Waves was a game for me anymore. I wasn't feeling it. And then finally, I had some close, friends of mine, content creator friends of mine that are just like, Connor, I know I've been there. I've been where you've been. I was talking to Hexju specifically, and she said, Connor, I know I was totally burned out on open world too, but trust me, they've revamped it. It's amazing. I had my friends Captain Cabinets, Ethan, others, Rednew. If I didn't say your name, and you said something, I know you did. But I had all of them saying, Connor, trust me, it's a great patch. Give it a play. And so I did. I finally sat down, and in about like 3-ish sessions over the course of a day, I played through all of the 2.0 story, and I can finally say, I'm fucking cooked. I hated the patch. I'm kidding. Wuthering Waves 2.0 has completely reshaped how I look at gacha games, and I'm gonna sound like such a Kurobot for saying that, but I was so incredibly excited playing this patch that I was not ready to be that excited for it. When I was first getting into the story patch, honestly, like I said, I was not very excited. Going into the prologue and meeting Brant and the fools there, the masked fools, I was like, I don't know, like maybe this is okay. But you know what? Brant had this particular charm to him. He fit in the world. I loved the idea of this like traveling carnival group on the open seas with these like pirate and musketeer aesthetics that actually I was like, you know what? He actually is really cool. And then we get introduced to Renacita, and we get introduced to the environment there. We get to meet Phoebe at the gate. We get to meet Zanny at the Alvarado Bank, and all of a sudden, you get reintroduced to this new cast of characters that has actually great voice acting, perfect charm, that they feel like they live and exist in this world, that it just was way more exciting. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Let's play. So I actually downloaded it and tried it out on the PlayStation 5. And I sat down and I played through the story and I was blown away. The way that they have revamped some of the open world exploration mechanics to make it way more easy and achievable to 100% a region is fantastic. The pacing of the story was so well done. I had maybe 2 small sections where I was like, we might be a little too yappy here, but the rest of it felt like it was paced so well. The one thing that continued to blow my mind is how long the story patch was. I kept waiting for the break. I kept waiting for, and that's the end of the act, and get ready for, 2.1 to get the conclusion of this act. I was waiting for us to basically be cucked, kind of like we did in Honkai Star Rail, if I'm being honest. But that moment never came. When by the time I finished Act 1, I was like, holy crap, that was just Act 1, and we've got 3 acts. Playing through all the way through Act 2, where we get to go to the Montelli family, we get to be fully introduced to Carlotta, we get to do a bank heist, we get to explore more of the open world, we get to see the depths, we get to fight Lorelei, there's so much to explore, and all of a sudden, we finally reached to the end of Act 2, and I was like, holy crap! It's still going. And then all of a sudden in Act 3, you're running along a bridge, you're being attacked by a dragon that felt like something out of Elden Ring and Dark Souls. All of a sudden you mount this offense and defense to make sure the Carnival happens. And when I was expecting us to be cucked and not actually get to the Carnival, we did. We got there and we got to actually go through that moment, which led to a fantastic boss fight, great characters, and a nice confrontation with Frolova and the Fraxidus with some fun twists and turns in there along the way. And even after the carnival, it kept going. Now, not much after, but I thought the carnival was gonna end, and I was like, okay, that's it. That's a great stopping point. And then it didn't stop. It didn't stop. There was so much content to the story that I kept being like, holy crap, how long have I been playing this for? And I wasn't getting bored of it. It got me more excited. When I came back originally to 2.0, I logged in for a little bit to try and pull for Carlotta, and I'm not gonna lie, I lost my 50 to Calcharo, and I was so disappointed. It took the wind out of my sails, and it made me not want to play. But after replaying the story mode, I was so invigorated in wanting to play the game more that I was like, I need to do everything that I can to get Carlotta now. I love this character. I love her charm. I love her aura 1000. I am a huge fan of Carlotta, and I've just started to get into her companion quest, which takes place right after the end of the Act 3, and it seamlessly goes into it, by the way, which immediately you're dropped with some more twists right at the very beginning of the story, and I was so excited for it. But it made me want to do everything in my power to get Carlotta, and now I can say, after scavenging as many asteroids as I could, I did finally get Carlotta. And Carlotta has now come home on my account, which I'm very excited for, although I've now recently realized I don't have any of her ideal supports. Whatever. I'm still excited that I have her. I gotta add a little editor's note in here as well, and just mention that I was looking up music to use in the backtrack of this video, and I was just so reminded by how much the music in this patch is an absolute banger, from each of the regions to each of the boss fights as well. A perfect combination of kind of like some futuristic and classical with the fantasy renaissance elements. I just love it. Look, I'm not musically educated here. I can't say too much, but it's just a banger. But the 2.0 update has legitimately and unironically blown me out of the water. As I was playing through the story and doing the open world exploration, I completely forgot that I was playing a gacha game. And I know people hate that. You know, Ryuku Sensei in particular, hates when people say that because, gacha game is a monetization model, not a style of game. But that's the thing. Every gacha game carries the weight of being a gacha game with them, and you feel that. You feel that when you're playing the game in some of the ways that it comes through, whether it be from character roster to energy systems, you just start to feel it. But after playing through the whole story mode and just exploring the open world, just even using the Camellia I had on my account, I legitimately found myself just thinking, wow, I'm playing a gacha game right now, and I'm getting like this kind of experience. Like, to me, and people might hate this, it felt like I was playing like a classic JRPG experience. Going around, exploring the world, meeting the characters, having the conversations in a way that made me excited and want to explore more. And I think it takes an incredible talent, and I think it takes an incredible game to be able to do that. To be able to make you forget that you're playing a gacha game. I think there's very few games that have done that are gacha games that have made me have that feeling. And I can confidently say Wuthering Waves is now one of them, at least in the 2.0 update. I want to make one additional note about the storytelling as well, is the storytelling in Wuthering Waves definitely has some of the same limiting mechanics to how the story is told in terms of the characters standing around and having a dialogue. But I find the character angles that are used are way more cinematic in their storytelling. That's not simply just flipping from camera A to camera B, like it's in a fixed studio set. It's constantly changing the angles, the panning, the going around people. There's multiple segments when there's kind of a ramp up in exploration from Brant where the camera's 360ing around and ramping up that environment. There's other portions too where members of the church are being introduced and it's actually on a crooked angle that we see them walking, so it's conveying that there's something off about this person. There's little touches like that are scattered throughout the story that are just ways to enhance the storytelling. Doesn't necessarily feel like a limitation to the technology, but feels like a way that they're helping you understand something more about the character. And then on top of the cool camera angles, you have the special animations that are included that have some fantastic moments, that I might add, that I absolutely loved. The climactic one during the Carnival in particular was one that I loved seeing in action. I'll try not to spoil too much. So all that being said, in the most yappy way possible, the way that they've reignited my passion for the game in terms of introducing new exciting characters with fun new combat and bosses, making open world exploration enjoyable again with the introduction of flight and the way that they've zoned up chests to make it more approachable for the average player. On top of improvements in storytelling, dialogue, voice acting, and special animations, this is literally what everybody would hope and dream for from a 2.0 update. And I can honestly say Wuthering Waves has cracked it out of the park with this one. Abso-frickin-lutely. I'm so glad I played it. We're back. We're back, baby. I'm going to be playing the heck out of that for the next little while because I plan on 100%ing all the regions of Renacita. So long, Huang Long. Renacita is where it's at. But that's enough glazing for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you think about Wuthering Waves 2.0? Were you as excited about it or impressed by it as I was? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace.